nutrition in animals. We know plants prepare their own food by the process called photosynthesis, but animals cannot because we are heterotrophic mode of nutrition. That is, we depend on plants or the animals that eat plants to get our food. Basically, animals are classified into herbivorous, carnivorous, and omnivorous. Herbivores that eats only the plants, that is the veggies. Carnivores that eats only other animals. Example, lion, tiger, and lizard. Omnivores that eats both the plants and the animals. Example, dog and crow. Herbivores comes goat, cow, and deer. Now, the process in which animal takes up the nutrition is this kind is holozoic nutrition. That is, there are some 5 process involved in that: ingestion, digestion, absorption, assimilation, and egestion. Ingestion, the process of taking food into the body. Digestion, the process by which the food is broken down into small soluble water molecules is called digestion. Water soluble molecules. Absorption, the process by which the digested food is being absorbed by the body through the intestinal wall into the bloodstream. Assimilation, the observed food is taken throughout the body, carried throughout the body for the energy. Egestion, the undigested or the unwanted food is removed from the body through the process called excretion or egestion. Now, this is our human digestive system. The digestive system starts from the mouth and ends in the anus. It consists of mouth, esophagus or the food pipe, the stomach, small intestine, large intestine, rectum, and anus. Now, the basic glands that are involved in digestion process are salivary gland, liver, and pancreas. We all know we take the food through our mouth. We chew them, and the saliva present in our mouth helps for the breakdown of food. The mouth contains teeth, tongue, and salivary gland. So the digestion starts from there. The chewing breaks down food into smaller pieces and mixes them with saliva. This process is called as mastication. The salivary glands secrete watery liquid called the saliva. Okay, and tongue helps in mixing the saliva with the food. Now, we all know tongue is the muscular organ that helps us to eat the food, and we also taste the food because of the taste buds that is present in our food, in our tongue. Now, the teeth. We all know there are 4 different types of teeth. The milk teeth, canines. Milk teeth is the one which is the temporary teeth, and permanent teeth is the one that we get that contains 32 teeth, and it has 4 different parts. That is the incisors, canines, premolars, and molars. Now, once we chew the food, it gets traveled to the stomach through the esophagus or the food pipe. It is the connecting passage between the mouth to the stomach. So food is pushed down by the movement of the wall of food pipe. This movement is called as peristalsis, takes place throughout the alimentary canal and pushes the food downwards. Now, what does the stomach does? Stomach is the thick walled bag present on the left side of the abdomen. It is the widest part of the alimentary canal. You can also call it as alimentary canal. Esophagus brings slightly digested food from the mouth into the stomach. Stomach walls contains 3 tubular glands in it, walls which secrete gastric juices. So this gastric juice contains 3 substances: namely hydrochloric acid, the enzyme pepsin, and mucus. Now, this hydrochloric acid creates an acidic medium which helps the action of enzyme pepsin, that is the digestion of protein into simple substances. Acid, the HCl kills the bacteria that enters along with the food. Now, the mucus helps to protect the stomach wall from its own secretion of hydrochloric acid. That is, the stomach produces three different acids, namely hydrochloric acid, pepsin, and mucus. Now, hydrochloric acid, it kills the bacteria that is present with the food, and mucus, what it does, it prevents the HCl to damage the tissues of the stomach, and the pepsin helps in the digestion of protein and other things. Now, this here in stomach, the food is partially digested, and this goes to the small intestine. Small intestine is highly coiled, as you can see in that image which I showed previously. It is 7.5-meter long and it is being coiled. So now the food, after leaving the stomach, it enters the small intestine, and the last steps of digestion is what takes place in small intestine. What happens there is, it receives secretions from liver and pancreas, and wall of small intestine also secrete the juices. Liver, it is the largest gland in the body. It is situated in the upper part of the abdomen on the right side. It secretes bile juice that is stored in gallbladder. Now, pancreas, it is a cream colored gland located just below the stomach. This pancreatic juice act as carbohydrate, fats, and proteins that convert them into simple form. The digested, that is the partly digested food, now reaches the lower part of the small intestine. The walls of small intestine contains glands which secretes intestinal juice. The enzyme present in it finally convert the proteins into amino acids, complex carbohydrates and glucose, and fats into fatty acids and glycerol. Now, the small intestine is the main region for absorption of the digested food. The inner surface of the small intestine has numerous finger-like projection called the villi. This increase the surface area for rapid absorption of the digested food. Digested food is absorbed through the walls of the small intestine, and that goes into our blood. Now comes the assimilation. The blood that carries these useful substances to each and every part of the body. The body uses these substances for its growth and maintenance. The absorption of digested food and its utilization by the body is what is known as assimilation. Glucose is the final product of carbohydrate digestion. This is broken down with the help of oxygen into carbon dioxide and water to release the energy. Amino acids are useful for growth and repair of worn out cells. Fatty acid and glycerol store below the skin as energy reserves. Digestion, that is the unwanted or undigested the parts of the food that we take. This moves to the large intestine to a part called the colon, where some amount of water and salts are absorbed from the undigested food. Remaining undigested food that moves to the second part called the rectum. Here it is stored and removed from the body through the anus. This is what we call as human excretion. This exist of the waste material is regulated by anal sphincter. This process is known as egestion. So as you can see, this is the flow chart of how the digestion takes place in human beings. Organs of digestive system, the buccal cavity, that is first one. Let me start the digestion in humans, or the alimentary canal and its associated glands. Buccal cavity is nothing but the mouth. There the food is broken down by teeth, tongue, and salivary glands. Next, the esophagus, also known as the food pipe. This is the connectivity between the mouth and the stomach. The third one is the stomach. Stomach, it kills the bacteria, and here the partial digestion takes place. Here the other partial digestion takes place with the help of pepsin. And next, this half digested food then passes to the small intestine. There, with the help of juices that is secreted by liver and pancreas, the breakdown of food, the full complete digestion takes place here. Now the villi that are present in small intestine is what helps in absorption of the digested food, and assimilation is carried out by the blood vessels, by the blood, and it is carried throughout the body. The undigested or unwanted food substances passes to the large intestine. There some of the water and salts present are absorbed through the colon, and the completely unwanted thing is passed on to the rectum, and from the rectum it is passed out through the anus. So this is what it's all about. Here we saw about the digestion in humans and the nutrients that are observed. Now let's see the nutrition in simple organisms such as amoeba. We all know amoeba is a microscopic organism. It is the nucleus of amoeba. This is the pseudopodium, that is the part which helps for the locomotion of amoeba. Now, when it locates its food particle, it just engulfs the food particle and it is assimilated through the wall of the amoeba. This is known as food vacuole. This is the adjusted, and the unwanted thing is again adjusted throughout this. It is mostly found in pond water. So each tiny plants and animals has food which floats in water in which it lives. Mode of nutrition in amoeba is again holozoic. The process of obtaining food, which is called as phagocytosis. Now let's see the process. Amoeba ingests food by forming temporary finger-like projections called as pseudopodia around it. The food is engulfed with a little surrounding water to form a food vacuole, that is the temporary stomach. You can see this is what the food vacuole. It forms pseudopodia, it engulfs it, and then the food vacuole, the temporary stomach to which the food vacuole is passed on, and the digested food in the food vacuole by digestive enzymes, and it is broken down into small and soluble molecule by chemical reaction. The digested simple and soluble substance pass out of the food vacuole into the surrounding environment. Absorbed food material are used to obtain energy throughout respiration and make the parts of amoeba cell, which leads to the growth of amoeba. The remaining undigested material is moved to the surface of the cell and thrown out of the body of amoeba. Now, let me tell about paramecium. It is also an unicellular animal that lives in water. Paramecium uses its hair-like structure called the cilia. The cilia helps in taking the food from water and put them into the mouth. Ingestion is again followed by other steps such as digestion, absorption, and assimilation digestion, which are as same as those we studied in amoeba. Hydra, it is a multicellular simple organism. It has a number of tentacles around its mouth, so that are used for ingestion of food. These tentacles entangle small aquatic animals and kill them with their stinging cells. Now, they push them into their mouth. Now, inside their body cavity, digestive juices are secreted by the surrounding cells. These juices digest the food, and the digested food is absorbed through the cavity walls and assimilated in the cells. This is in frog and spider. Frog uses its long sticky tongue to catch the insects. Frogs have well-developed digestion system in which the digestion of food takes place. Spider digests the food actually takes place outside their body. That is, a spider weaves a sticky web in which small insects get stuck. It then injects digestive juices into the body of the insect, which digests the body part of the insect. The spider then sucks up the digested food. Quite interesting, right? Now, the digestion in grass-eating animals, that is, they are called as ruminants. You could have seen cow, etc. Those will take up the food once at a time entirely, and whenever they found free time, they will sit in a place and then they will take and they have this special feature called, they can able to take the food out and they will chew them. It will then get absorbed in their body. So as human beings, we cannot eat grass because it is rich in cellulose and we don't have the capacity to digest it. So this is all about nutrition in animals. Hope you all understood this. Thank you.